go over briefly optimizing those images just to remind you how to do it. So presumably you have a folder of links that you're working with from your InDesign document, plus other things you want to hold in. You're going to have a range of things. You know, you've got PDFs, you've got PSDs. None of those can go onto your website. So you're going to need to make things into PNGs. So here's an Illustrator version of the watch. So you can just open it with Photoshop directly. Taking its time, it's probably quite a big image. So you can see it's 300 pixels per inch, so it's way too big to put on a website. And what you need to do is then go File, Export, and use the Save for Web Legacy option. That's your best bet for understanding and controlling the resolution of your image. So Save for Web Legacy. So you go File, Export, Save for Web Legacy. If you do quick export as PNG, you're not controlling the size and resolution of it. So Save for Web Legacy is your best bet. You've got JPEGs you can easily put in. However, if you really want sharper vector, PNG 8. You can also try PNG 24. You'll get a bigger file, but you may actually, it'll load more slowly, but for some things, for example, like the car illustration, it might be worth experimenting and comparing the two different PNGs. But PNG 8 is pretty good. We'll keep the type looking a little bit sharper if you've got type on it. And then the crucial thing is to come down and look at the image size. So 2000 pixels is massive for a website. So, you know, a hero image might be 1500 pixels. Maximum you might end up using for a really big image you really want to showcase, maybe 2000. So a lot of the stuff, you know, like I'll show you, I'll experiment with, say, 1100 pixels. And then if I hit the preview button, it's actually going to open it up in the browser and give me an idea how big that 1100 actually is going to be. So you can have a look at the boxes and things you're trying to put things into. You can look at the pixel width of your destination. You might know exactly how big you need it to do. So if I do 800 and preview that, you'll see it's smaller. But what's crucial is just checking the detail of that type. You can see it's pretty crisp. I'm pretty happy with the way that's going to display on the website versus a JPEG. So test it out. The JPEG will load faster, so if you've got quite small images, so that's why, say for the business website, I was saying for your little shop previews of images, a small JPEG is fine. But where you want to really display detail, the PNG is probably a better option. GIFs, you're only going to use if you've got very simple graphics. Could use it for like a 2-color logo, but it's mostly you're going to use that if you've got an animated GIF that you've made already in Photoshop. Animated GIFs will play perfectly in Wix. You just drag them in. They're going to play as soon as you load the website. So you can have fun making animated GIFs if you want to. So you could do a GIF with this. You could make the hands move around the clock, for example. Have a bit of fun with it. Takes time, obviously. So you don't have to, you know, there's something to think about for the future when you're playing around with your website. So just think it's either going to be a JPEG or a PNG. The JPEG is just a little bit fuzzier. Don't know if you can see the difference there, but it's not quite as sharp on the detail of the type. So a bit of personal preference. JPEG will load faster. PNG, keep a little bit more of your detail and is great for your vectors. So either way, once you're happy with the size, save it. I'll do one at 500 just to show you, preview that. So maybe that's big enough for the size I'm thinking of on my website, and then just save it. And make sure that you've got some kind of area, a new folder where you're saving your web optimized. portfolio. So get them all done. You can always go back and save a few different size variations if you want. And once you've done all of them, you'll be ready with that whole folder ready to start uploading. Yep. So it's a bit of preparation needed, and then you just upload them directly into the image section, the plus images in Wix. You can upload them all at once. So that's going to be your first step. You need to get going with that.